Welcome to Turning Points today, and this profit point, and they were looking at the market. Normally we start with the stock market and at the same time the business segment. But before we go into the business proper today, we'll take a short break before we go into more of capital market and other business for the day. Thank you. Yeah, welcome back to the stock market review, where we discuss what happened in the market yesterday and also guide you how to take information decision going forward today and over the month and going to the another quarter. But our discussion here is going to be what happened in the market yesterday. They will not give you a clue of economic activities and also the data that came, so that it will guide you on how to make what informed investment decision. But before going to that, I want to look at the market data of what happened in the market yesterday. Sorry, before I go further, I want to introduce my colleague here, Tunde Jarewe, the MD of Tradeline Limited. You are welcome.
Thank you, Ambrose.
Yeah. Yes, we want to look at the market data, as I've said. The all-share index that measured the market performance opened at 38,256.76 and closed at 38,233.68, meaning that the market lost just marginal 0.06. And you say why the market is still on the downtrend. Tunde also discussed why it's on the downtrend. Then the volume, which is very important for any trader. Volume tells you a lot of things. And the volume for transaction yesterday was also down by 18.83. That means the volume opened at 250.20 million shares and it closed at 203.09 million shares. Tells you that there was a decline in volume traded, and this is a sign that investors are still on the fence, looking for one trader before they can jump into the market. But I would say personally, I'm seeing improvement in volume. That's why it's still relatively low compared to what we saw last week. On this program, we told you that we are seeing some few volume, but today, as of yesterday, we are seeing that there's a little improvement on that. Today, before I go further, what will you say about this volume traded yesterday on the floor of Nigerian Stock Exchange?
Like you have rightly said, there's a large difference between what we have this week and what we have last week, and you understand that investors had been sitting on the fence for some trading days, looking at what will be the outcome of various economic indicators, which are to come in. Last week we discussed all those things, and we said we are expecting them. And I think by Sunday everything was around.
We're coming to that. We want to discuss them.
Well, by now we are seeing a little bit of return to the market.
Okay. Then the 5 top trade for yesterday. These top trade tell you that these are activities that happen in these companies. They are the ones that led or that drove the volume. Fidelity Bank topped the top trade with 24.4 million shares, followed by Zenith Bank 22.5 million shares. Why? Mutual Benefit. This is an insurance company. I will tell you, this Mutual Benefit has already oscillated, creating opportunity for investors to enter in and out. Traded about 16.9 million shares, followed by Sovereign Insurance, 16 million, and the last there is Transcorp, 13.8 million shares. It tells you that investors are gradually returning back to the market. But like we always say in this program, that the all-share index alone, which we have mentioned earlier, that lost 0.06 is not enough for you to measure the market performance. You have to look at what the sectorial activities. Then we look at what happened in different sectors. And in our market today, we just have only 5, but there are other sectors that are not represented here. But these are the key ones we use to measure the market. One is the banking, index. It lost 0.44% yesterday, while the consumer goods that covers both privileged sector and others, the service and all around that consumer goods, also lost 0.08. While the industrial goods was flat, 0, and the insurance was only one that was up yesterday, gained 1.17%. Oil, this oil for me, I'm not surprised that oil index is 0.0, that is flat, because you remember that last week, in that sector alone, returned about 7.14%. You can see that market is gradually moving from one sector. People are looking at where is opportunity for them to invest, and that is that this market is becoming interesting for designing investors. That's why you need to hook on this program to learn how to invest wisely. This is the time not to follow what bad wagon, take informed investment decision because it is your hard-earned money. You need to know what is happening. I'll tell you, the dynamics in the market has changed. The dynamics in the economy has changed. If you continue to use your old style of investing, you remain one point until you change to what is happening to the market. That will also help you to make informed decision. Yes, before we go further, Mr. Aderobo, look at the performance of the sectoral indices. You can see that only one is in positive, in green. You can see that only insurance sector is having a green of 1.17. What is your position?
If you ask for my judgment, this is only a day performance.
Exactly.
And you really can't judge the market with a day performance. For example, if you check the daily charts, you will realize that you will think the market is bleeding seriously. But if you want to see the strength of the market and the true trend, go and check weekly charts, go and check monthly charts. So if you get there, you will now realize that this is actually, all the drops we have seen is actually nothing.
Exactly, I
so
like that.
It's actually a kind of pullback that is creating an opportunity for new entries. So what we have seen here is not a good representation of the entire performance in the market, at least for the month or the week.
Yeah, actually, you said it that a day activity is not enough, but I will tell you that most time, as a trader, a day activity is very important to you because you are interested in making your 10%, 9% and run away from that day. Yes. That means, like traders, that day is very important. And like what you just said, if you look at the market for the last 3 trading days for this week, if you look at the decline, they are just marginal. No, I can see 0.8, 0.6 after yesterday. Tells you that even the loss we are seeing is declining. The momentum is
not only that. The momentum is reducing. Of active equities were also reduced. Reducing the number of gainers and losers were not so much like we used to see in a very active market.
Yeah, that means as an investor, as we just said earlier, you don't look at just only the Osher index. We said it in this program that about just 10 companies control most of that index. That when they move, the market move. That means for you to make informed decision, always go back to your sectoral index and also individual stock you are looking at to know what is happening there. But general market most time, like I said, that general market has about 50% influence on your another sector performance. But you need to look at what the sector is key whenever you are making your investment decision. Yes, let's go to the gainers and the loser for the day. It's very, very important. Yeah. Every investor wants to know the stock that were up so that it will guide them whether today being another trading day they should jump into that position or not. Like yesterday, the market closed with John Holt topping the gainers chart with 9.68%. It opened at 62 kobo to close at 68 kobo, followed by Vitafoam. Vitafoam 9 naira 25 kobo to close at 10 naira 10 kobo. Now gaining 9.19. For a day, like what people that, they'll tell you that if you are putting your money in Treasury for a whole year, you're waiting for 9.7% for a whole year. If a stock can give you 9.19 in a day, you should also rethink your investment. Despite you are not a risk taker, you want to enter where there is risk free, but also your gain is very important for you. Unless your source of income is free. But for me, my hard-earned money, I won't put it well because I want to run for fear.
But Ambrose, you are still very young. It has to do with age, you know. You see, investment is by age.
Yeah, I agree with you.
There is an age range you get to that you don't put much of your income into the stock market.
The risk, high risk,
go to where your risks are almost zero, so that at least you can live long a little bit.
That is good. Then Lasako also among the top gainers for the day. He gained 9.09. They moved from 1 naira 43 kobo to 1 naira 56 kobo. And this is one of the insurance companies that was recently consulted by, they did about 145 in their share construction, and since then the price has been oscillating up and down. The investor also decide whether the earnings of this company will support the new price we are seeing here. Then the next one was CNI Easing, also gaining 8.52%, which is equally good. This is a stock that when they released their results last week, they declare a minimal dividend of 5 kobo dividend for so that selling for 5 naira. Immediately the price tumbled down.
And now
it's now recovering. Yeah, it's among the top gainers. Then the last there is Len Africa, moved from 1 naira 2 kobo to 1 naira 10 kobo, gaining 7.84%. Today, looking at these top gainers for the day, what's your your advice and your judgment.
I would say that John Oates is purely market forces.
Yes, I agree with you.
Because if you look at the volume and the fundamentals, you know that the stock is not so liquid. If you don't,
even I was thinking before now, they didn't have been listed. When I see,
Then if you look at Vitafoam, of course, we know we are expecting the third quarter result, and people are actually positioning because of that. And of course, you know that the third quarter, if the third quarter is good, then investors will position for the full year. But if the stock quarter is not okay, then for what we have seen yesterday, I want to say, you know, the way the market works, there has been some rumors or some predictions of the expectation in the third quarter. Then when we look at Lazaco, like you said, Lazaco has been trending for some time, and there are activities in the insurance sector. You know that this sector is actually active as we speak. And so people are actually, when you see a trending market, you want to play your way up and down in the stock, not even minding some fundamentals at times. Because if you know, if you can measure the trend, then you can make the money.
That means you have to use your second analysis here.
Yes. Okay. Then CNI leasing, of course, CNI leasing, like you rightly said, they had a bad posture, and investors have judged them. And as we speak, the price is getting attractive, and people are actually positioning back into the stock. Then the last one, Land Africa, you know that we are actually expecting the full year numbers. And last year, we know they performed better, and so we expect a better result even as we speak.
Yes, also, are you not considering the COVID year for schools that most of them were working from home?
Yes.
You know, okay. I want to really go back to the Vitafoam we just mentioned. You said a third quarter result expectation. That is good. And like what you tell you that yes, the past performance might not be means to judge a company, but if you look at their Q1, Q2, there's already a trend that this company is going somewhere in anything. That also is what investors are looking at. Like always saying in an equity analysis that third quarter number is very important for you to take decision. That's why people want to see that third quarter number to know if there is a possibility of a good dividend for the final year that will come in December. And not only that, look at the way they move from dividend of 42 kobo to almost 72 kobo for last year, the last year end. And we'll see that trend is already, they're having almost 1.99 kobo for second quarter result.
So that we're actually going
exactly. I think for me, investors are really, I like Nigerian investors. They we are becoming more informed and more educated. They are not falling bad on these days. Like what we saw before the market crash 2006. Now we are seeing an improvement in their judgment. That is nice. That is nice. Thank you very much. Then we're going to look at the top losers for the day, for yesterday, sorry. Then FTM Kuku to lead the loser chart, losing 7.32% to close at 0.38, that is 38 kobo. Then Police Microfinance also closed lower at 1.68 kobo, lost 5.62, followed by Flower May. Flower May, is my concern here in this losers. So for me, it's an opportunity for people to position a Flower May. It lost 5.25, closed at 27 naira 95 kobo, followed by Japan Gold, lost marginal 1.75, and also Wima Bank 1.72. All closed about 52 kobo and 57 kobo. On this loser chart, what is the advantage and the opportunity we are seeing on this chart? Because personally, I always see loser chart as opportunity.
The only thing I want to place is, I know NPF Microfinance is planning the right issue. The price they are coming out, we need to actually pick it. For what we have seen now, it could be profit taking. It could be that some investors who are not interested in the right issue are already backing out as we speak. Then Flower Maize also is an opportunity, like you said, to take position now because of the expectation
of their full year
of the full year numbers. Of course, Flower Maize will do well.
And also, don't forget that Flower Maize didn't also follow the new rules that yes, if you are you have 90 days to release your result after your year end. Then if you know that you want to take that 90 days, that means you have to release your unaudited account within 30 days the quarter ended. And it ended in March, and then April we didn't see flower May result. That means it will be arranged people that will do between now and early what?
Okay, they are trying to predict the time.
Yes, to come, so that because investors should have that in mind, because since
they didn't come with
exactly
the interim
or unaudited,
the result will come faster.
Yeah.
So of course, if you look at FTL cocoa, there's no fundamental, it's a zero fundamental. And why are people actually positioning this stock? You can't place it, perhaps the low price attraction. Then Japan Gold, to me, like I used to say, of course, for 1.75, you can say it's market forces. But Japan Gold, we have not seen their numbers, so we don't have anything to actually judge them. The last result, we can't really rely on that result, because we know that there are some sales, there are some transactions that went on. So the high figure is not very much reliable. There are not things that occur from time to time. Right. And which one is the last one? Wema Bank is actually a profit taking. And no, is it? Were they marked down? No.
Yeah, no, they marked down the previous. They just paid their dividend yesterday.
So of course, Wema Bank is a place to be. Anyway, I love entering Wema Bank.
Yes.
Below 1 naira.
Okay.
I love entering Wema Bank.
And also, it's below 1 naira at 57.
If Wema Bank will start picking, there's no way you will not sell it between 70 and 80 kobo.
Okay. Thank you very much. Then on this loser start now, what is the outlook for today's market?
You see, you are not moving the market.
I tell you what
the truth is that I don't really want to say whether the market will gain or lose. But what we know is that the market is actually fluctuating now. From what we can see, either the market gain or not depends on the caliber of stocks that appear in the gainers and the losers list.
Okay.
So if you actually want to see the picture of what you are playing, it's better you go into the sectoral index and of course look at the trend of the equity you are playing.
Yes, okay. Also, I'm happy that you are giving investors a clue on how to invest. Just to add to what you just said now, market has opened already today. Investors should know that already market has shown sign of what? Reducing the losses. Not only that, we'll see also a positive breath yesterday. 20 stock gain against 14 stock. Tell you that people are coming back gradually. That's why we're seeing also little improvement in volume. But you as an investor, target those stocks that has what? Fundamental. I will tell you that every investment is what? Against expectation. You don't need to see the half year result before you start buying. As an investor or a trader, you need to look at the trend so far. We have seen their full year result, first quarter, know where the market is going, and also where the company, the sector where it operates, what is happening, to know how to position. That is how to position. Don't be afraid that the market is pulling back. But I tell you that this pullback is already an opportunity for you to buy. Any dip that you see, and there's no reason that dip, take a position of stock that go down and buy them at low. That is what I would advise.
Maybe I should add that you should look at the banking stocks. At least some good number of them have a interim dividend policy. And so, of course, if you position in those stocks now, when the result will come and others will be rushing, you will be taking your profits. You
just hit the nail right there that the banking sector for me is the most attractive sector to look at now. Why? The low prices attraction is there. 2, what is happening in the economy was going to play out on this bank's number going to the future. And also, what I will say now that investors should not take note of, go and look the trend in Nigeria capital markets for almost the past 20 years. When you see the divergence between earnings and price, it tells you that there is future for the market. Because this price that are going down is coming back to respond to the earnings. This divergence was saying is that, yes, we told you earlier that when you see an environment where there's inflation and prices of goods are high, there are some companies that will benefit from that high inflation. Why? Because the services they are rendering or the product is what people will not do without. Even when they adjust their price, people will still buy, their numbers will become better. And that's why we're seeing a lot of low P ratio in the market, telling that there are some stock that has attractive entering point as to speak now. And these prices are going down, and the P ratio is coming low, becoming attractive. And don't forget that when the company has a good number, they can pay you good dividend. And that dividend wants to attract investors to that stock. That means as you are seeing these low prices now, low prices and earnings is going up, look for a better company. As today I've said, I see potential in the banking sector and others position now, because one was expecting them to pay interim dividend by from month of July or August. For me, this is time to start positioning ahead. You don't need to see the number before you buy. This divergence, what I say for me, is going to correct itself any moment from time, especially when the market is correcting. Any information now can take the market up again. Or I believe that the second quarter number was expecting will be better than what the first quarter. Nothing has changed so far. But I'm telling you, for example, now yesterday I saw a headline that they want to increase the prices of bread. I quickly comment on it when they send it to me. I comment. What does that tell you? Yes, we all feel the pain that the price of bread will be increased. But I tell you, this is stable food in Nigeria, that even when they increase the price, there will be demand for bread.
But again, the raw materials are,
yeah.
The reason for the increase is because the cost of production had actually increased.
They are passing that
so
cost
what they are
you.
doing is that they are passing it across to us.
Yes.
So if you look at it carefully, it's not as if they are getting what they were not getting before.
No.
Because they are now spending more. So whatsoever they are spending more, they are pushing it to investors.
And also the quantity or the size of the bread has reduced already. That they can make two bread with what they were doing before. Automatically, that is a plus for them. No, I see that this adjustment in price, we're going to impact most of the company in that sector positively. As an investor, yes, we'll be complaining that the price of bread is high, but those that have ego eye like me, also should be looking at, well, how can I invest in that sector? Like what I said, I mentioned it, what I replied to my... There are some companies that will benefit from it. Now, I see that when there is high price like this, look at what's also happening in the oil sector. In the oil sector, look at the oil result that came from first quarter. Most of them, they are having a decline in their top line, but most of them have a growth in their bottom line. You ask yourself why? Because most of them have these goods in stock before the price were adjusted. They sell high, automatically they make more.
But you need to look at something. There's a small difference there.
I'm coming now.
Okay.
Well, I mean that because when there's always a hike in price, they always have to pass it to consumer. Even when the cost of production increase, because most of them are going to adjust the quality. Look at even the bottle of I bought Hollanda yogurt day for yesterday. The pack has changed and the price remained the same. This thing was selling for almost 7 naira, and the pack was bigger. But now the pack has the result by the 67 naira.
And the price remained the same. You know why? Sometimes you look at your goods and you feel, if I increase the price,
yes,
people will not buy. Good. So rather, instead of that, since the cost of production have increased, what I do is reduce the quantity and maintain the price. You understand? So because you are actually spending more, so you have to find a way of pushing that to investor. Assuming your cost of production remain down and you increase price, then profits will be affected.
That's what I say, that because you are reducing quantity, yes, even your cost has come, you are also going to that, because there is a cost also going to this. Because we are all businessmen now. That's why they are sector that investors should be looking at, because when you see prices going up, earnings going up, something is driving the earnings. Earnings is going up. As I said, what is it that since even during the recession and the COVID-19, companies are posting positive number? You ask yourself, what is either we are earning more money then? No, it's because there is consumption, and those that are putting a hardware or passing it to us, and they are still making money. That's why that the consumption then reduced because of what. For me, I see potential in those food and what is it called, the consumer goods sector, because of the little increase. Yes, all of us will complain that children biscuit price will go up. And you see, children are already, today they are there, and already they are announcing increment coming for biscuit. The price of biscuit will go up. I'm telling you, this thing will make that sector for me. If you're a design investor, start thinking how to invest in that line. Yes, today, before we go into the economic data, I want to look at generally what happened in the MPC meeting that was just concluded on Tuesday, the outcome, and some factors led to the outcome. Because we saw a weak growth in GDP first quarter. The World Bank forecasted about 1.86 growth,
and we have 0.5.
And the CBN itself forecasted that we'll see a growth of 1.24, and Invest Data forecasted that we'll get about 1.6. And when we saw the number 0.51, this is below market expectation, below forecast, and immediately I know that MPC will not do anything to rate.
Yeah.
Because if they do anything to rate,
they will shock the system the more.
Exactly. And this is very fragile recovery we are seeing, very weak, and they come out to retain. What is your position as regard that, and how do you think that they will navigate? What will happen between now and the next MPC in July?
See, we don't need to argue that the MPC decision is correct.
Good.
But I want us to look at something. Maybe it's funny.
Go ahead.
What if they reduce the rates? If they bring down the rates, how will it affect the system? Because actually there will be fund. There will be cheaper fund available to the system, and
that will fuel inflation.
Okay, that will push inflation up again.
No, actually, you know,
because our inflation is due to low supply.
Yeah.
Okay, so it will push inflation again.
Yeah.
So the best thing they could have done is to leave it.
Yeah, they can also take it up because funds, you know,
when they take it up, they will shock the system.
It's not too expensive. People will not expand again. Activities will just shrink and all those stuff. But like what you just said, no, don't forget that in any economy, there are different factors that drive prices. One, when you see that there's activities, there is security, there is infrastructure, you are bound to see what progress. But when a company or a country has gone into what we call stagflation, when you have stagflation or stagflation, they call it, or stagflation, what we call it, it shows that hyperinflation, that when your inflation is above 20. But stagflation is that when you are seeing a meager or a weak growth and your inflation is high, automatically now in Nigeria we're already in stagflation. We don't need to ask any economists because we have inflation of almost 18.12 and you're having a GDP growth of what 0.50. Yes, if you take the 3 quarters, you know, back, your second quarter 2020 was okay, third quarter, let's talk about third quarter was negative 3.62. Fourth quarter was positive 0.11. We'll now see the last one now 0.5. You can see that the growth or the recovery is too weak and it's not good. Yeah, for me, I think they've taken the right decision. But one thing again, we know that in Nigeria, our inflation is not liquidity push inflation, like as you rightly said, that is what supply issue.
Yeah.
And that means if there's a supply issue, like what CBN were discussing, I think they were hammering about, you know, security problem. Because this security will go a long way to affect the economy generally. If the government have come out of that, this security is also affecting their developmental plan. When I heard that yesterday, I say that means I think the duty of any government anywhere in the world is to protect life and security. That is the first thing. That means government should, because we have spent a lot of money in our budget for security, and we are not seeing the impact much now. Even that people cannot go to farm during.
Wait, what is the problem?
Wait, let me even during the planting season, people are not going to the farm, and we are just saying that celebrating because of reason they gave by that there was a dry season harvest. That's why we saw a decline of 5%, 0.05 point to from 18.717 in March to 18.12. No. My brother, I'm telling you that when the time of harvest comes, because there's no planting season for them,
there's going to be a great challenge.
That means this thing has to be a change. That means the CBN, that always the monetary policy team, should always be thinking for, because
they said it in the report that look, all these things we are looking at, the inflation, the GDP, they are the effect of something that is happening on the ground. So the major challenge of our economy is security. Until the government is able to resolve the security issue, all this that we have hyperinflation, stagflation, whatever you call it, slow recovery, it's still a child's play to what we will see next year. Because if farmers cannot access their farms now, then I doubt what will happen when we are supposed to start dancing that we have the harvest. What are they going to have?
Because CBN has really injected funds to encourage these farmers.
They've done everything.
To encourage these farmers. No, they're giving loans and they fear to access your farm become a problem. So where are we going from here?
So the truth is that if there's anything the government must focus on, it is the security issue. The moment it is solved, you see every other thing come in place by themselves. Because if you ask me, one major arm that is performing its function effectively in Nigeria is the CBN. They were actually looking at every way to make sure that the system comes back. But you see, when the security issue is challenged, when people don't feel safe anymore, how do I move my money?
Even investors won't come in.
How do I move my money to a country where I'm not safe? Where somebody will see me and feel, this is an opportunity, let me kidnap this one and get money. You see, so the whole issue is somehow, then I begin to wonder, this kidnapping, this ransom that is being collected, the money is so much. How are the money moving within our systems that it cannot be traced? There are so many things that we are not asking ourselves. But although this is not political program, but the truth is that
security is important in the economy, in politics.
We need to do something
security
about
is very
it.
important. And actually, you just said it all, but investors are also advised that most time political headline and insecurity headline will not affect your decision if you want to trade. Like what is it? If you're an investor in long term, you'll be looking at, but if you're a trader, you want to look at what is happening in the market immediately and catch on it. But on the long run, insecurity will affect what the company will perform. But the good thing is that even since last year, insecurity, only that the thing is heightened of recent. We are seeing companies taking out good numbers, which is good. Then, for me, let's also be mindful that insecurity will affect our investment decision along the line. But on that note, we want to also move how, now that we have seen the Q1 numbers, impressive, beat expectation. We have seen economic data already on ground. Now, many companies, their research teams, individuals are studying these numbers to reposition their portfolio ahead of Q2, earnings season. And at the same time, second half of the year, investment decision. What is your own thinking on how they can marry the two? We have seen impressive Q1 number. We are seeing a miss, economic data. But after the economic data is not negative, only that they are miss and weak. The economic data we've seen, they are not weak, but they are not negative but weak and miss. For me, how do you advise people to position them?
The truth is that you need to select your stocks strategically. You need to look, don't expect a very serious growth. Okay. Expect marginal growth, like we've been seeing from most of the banks. You see marginal growth, both the top line and the one that did best will do 20-something% in the bottom line. So when you are picking your stock, don't forecast a very large returns. So that way you will be able to place yourself very well. Then look at the policy on ground. Which are the companies that will be more affected positively or negatively? These are the things to look to when you are selecting your stocks. Look at the Q1 earnings, look at the growth. In fact, you can start checking the growth to what the full year, because when you check the growth of first quarter to the full year, you will be able to see if a company has done like 50% of its full year earnings in the first quarter, then you know where the company is actually going. Of the year. So these are the things to observe when you are positioning for the half year results.
Okay, just to add to what you just said, as a trader or investor, you have different rules in the market. For those that are thinking long, you don't need to see the number before you invest. Because every investment is against expectation. The one you have seen so far, the past ones, should guide you on how to make informed investment decision. On that note, investors should make sure that the earnings that you are seeing so far will guide you on what to do so that you will know where to put your money. Don't forget that, as I said, government policy is very, very important. Policy can turn every sector to become bullish any moment. Also, you can make that sector to become a place that you want to run out from. Look at the government policy to see what is happening. Like, for example, now, those are in the banking sector who have said everywhere that because of the new change in rates, last year, as of December, we were having just 1.5 return. But now, we have about 9.4 a whole year. That means investors should look at the banking sector will have what we call increase in interest income. That is one. And also, if the economy is recovering, the banking sector non-performing loan will reduce. And on that note, this is going to reflect on the number. But when we are not making more provision for bad loan, it's going to reflect on your bottom line. That means we expect that the banking sector will grow more profit this year and they pay you better dividend. And those that even caught their dividend last year, the way they are going to surprise you with coming up. That means this is the time to take advantage of these pullbacks and position in good stock. I think that we should not panic with the missed economic data. Because we are seeing that the full year result, the first quarter result and the full year 2020, they are positive. For me, there's no cause for us to look away from the equity market as we speak now. Rather, position in those stocks that has the fundamental to outperform the forecast, even the company themselves are doing or we, the analysts, are doing. Because as you are saying now, numbers that think for first quarter are giving us insight where they are going. Invest in that line. Take sector that has potential to grow their earnings, to grow their performance. That should guide you this time, because if you look at what is happening, you don't need to tell you. Look at where there is demand, where there is consumption. Where there is consumption, there are bound to be profit, because people need that. Without there is consumption, that means those people there will sell, they will make money. That is why if I see people looking about a telecom, whether there's no money in the economy today, people want to call. You don't want to go to Abuja because you want to see somebody. You could go and buy the airtel to make call. The airline to make call. That means you need to look at sector that has potential to grow and position in that line. For me, that is what we should do at this point. And also, today, looking at what we have discussed about this, all the Q1 and the economy data, what will be the next step investors that are thinking long should take? Is it the time for them to go for education? Or is it time to, because I believe that for you to strive to make progress in anything you are doing, you need to educate yourself.
Yeah.
And most Nigerian investors want to follow bandwagon. But I thank God for those that are following invest data, they are not bandwagon investors.
Let me tell you, if you want to play this market, you need to be well equipped with your technical analysis software.
Okay.
The market we have now is not a bandwagon market. It's a professional market. So if you want to enter, don't be the prey. You need to prepare yourself. Get everything you needed to get. Be sure that you want to play the market. So not that you just want to make money. Don't look at the money alone. Look at you equipping yourself. Make up your mind that you are going to be successful there and be focused.
That means for you to make up your mind, that means you want to put experience under your belt.
Yeah.
You need to gather that. That means you need to cost your money, to cost your time. You need to do it because that is the only way. I tell you that to grow wealth anytime, any level, you need to work to gather that knowledge. You need to pay for training. Get like what today just said. Whenever you go to see a doctor in the hospital, you not just look at you, bring something to check your temperature. That means it has tools. That means for you to succeed in this market, you need to have tools. Many of us are doing what Mr. A is doing. No, have your own mind of investing. I believe those that are following us will give them all those platforms to learn and all those. Why? Because when you combine your fundamental and your technical analysis, you will make informed decisions. But one thing again, I always tell people that even when we are combining these two factors together, patience is key. Patience is what is key. Many investors, many traders in the market, when they invest and the market does shake, they say they are panicking already. Until the factor that attracted you into some position is disintegrating, they are disappearing. That is where you run. But when the factors that attract you into a position are still intact, even when the price is going down, be patient enough so that it will recover. Because I tell you that anything that comes down will go up depending on on the forces. For me, don't panic, don't take advantage of the pullback we're saying now, and buy into good companies and good sector and way to make money, because there is a lot of roof to go. The upside potential side is high. The upside potential is high. For me, take decision, buy good stock and relax, because I believe that equity market has enough to return if you invest wisely. Because it's the market you can make 50%, which other windows cannot give you. But only that if you follow the wrong path, you also get your finger burnt. That means you need to invest knowledgeably with information. That is what we need as investors in this market, and that's why we continue to educate Nigerians on a different platform, using this platform of Profit Point, Invest Data, just to educate you on how to make informed investment decision. Every one of us need to work up our game in equity trading and investing. Yeah, Tunde, before we move to the next stage of our discussion, we want to look at again. We need to also discuss things I believe it is necessary at this point.
Okay.
You mentioned policy when we are talking about how to invest. Now, one thing again that investors need to do at this time: how do they read the sentiment of this market? Because policies are okay, liquidity are okay, sentiment plays a key major role in equity investment.
Yeah.
Do our investors in this climate, especially in Nigeria, have access to sentiment report? Or is the company in Nigeria provide sentiment report? Well, this sentiment is very key. I think investors need to be tutored on how to read sentiment report and how to use it to make investment decisions.
Yeah, you are correct.
Yeah.
You are correct. Then again, aside the sentiment, like I said,
okay,
the reaction of investors sometimes, you cannot see it anywhere else except in your technical analysis. You understand? I keep mentioning technical analysis because if you can read technical analysis perfectly, you won't lose much of your trades.
Okay.
The truth is that it will give you how people are thinking. It will show you. their reactions to economic news, you will see it. For example, when we get the news that the GDP is 0.51, you don't notice that some people can rush to the market. But again, when you look at your technical chart and you see what is happening there, or you know what to do. So sometimes it's not enough to have the fundamental news. It is also necessary to be able to see the general market thinking, their view about that thing that you two have had. That way, you will be able to follow correctly. Then you talk about sentiment. It's good, but again, there's something that technical analysis will do for you. Okay. In statistics, there is something we call the noise. So when there are some indicators that will remove all the noise and give you all the sentiment to remove it and give you the perfect trend. The truth is that the technical analysis does so many things that if you know you want to be in the market, then you must have it and understand it.
Thank you very much. We'll go on a short break and we'll continue again so that we can discuss more. Yeah. Yes, welcome back. We were talking about sentiment before we went on break. We were talking about that sentiment report. You said sentiment report is key, but you now say that there is how to filter noise. But filtering noise is different from sentiment report because you know when at the end of the market transaction for the day, newspapers, NSC will send you price. They say this price closed 5 naira, this price closed 4 naira, without knowing whether it's a buy price or a sell price. That's what sentiment report will tell you. But you know, that price might be losing. You don't know, but just go and buy. But if you are seeing a sentiment report, you know that whether it's high seller or high buyer, that will give you an answer whether you should hold that position or not. Just like what you just said. But before,
can't you see that in your chart?
You see in your chart, but no, your chart that is going down.
No, your chart is
red.
Will show you the
red. No, show you
buyer's trends, the seller's trends.
No, when you look at a candlestick, when it's up, it gives you a green direction. When it is down, it gives you a red direction. But it don't tell you the volume of what made that to be red or what. But only see the red candlestick or green candlestick finish. Okay, let us not talk much on that. Unless you want us to discuss. But if you look at the chart being displayed now, you can see that this is a MACD histogram that is displayed already. And we also see the down one, which is the money flow index. You see the what we call now I'm going to the moving out, what is called the money flow index. There is what we call a channel already you are seeing now. That channel, what can you make out from that channel you are seeing? You can see that even it has break down the lower trend line down.
I'm not seeing it. It didn't break, or is it my eyes?
It touched it there. That
it touched it there. Yes. I can see a double bottom.
Yeah.
I can see a double top that brought it down.
Yeah.
Then I can see a double bottom, which means the market will rebound.
Yeah.
From that point. Of course, let me see what else. And I can see a tradable channel, because even if you play within that channel, there's a lot of money within the channel I'm looking at. Then when you look at the MACD itself, is in the bearish region.
Correct. This is a daily chart.
Okay, it's a daily chart.
Yeah, it's a daily
okay,
chart.
It would have been better if we are looking at a weekly chart or a monthly chart. We will see a better, direction.
Yeah. Also, what you just said now. Also, if you look at the MACD chart, I can see there's a little curve already coming down. If you look at that MACD, there is a bearish trend already. I'm not talking of the money flow index down. I'm talking of the MACD. If you look at, there's a place already, there's a sign of turn. We need to confirm either today or tomorrow. We can't say it has turned, but you need a confirmation. It requires confirmation at the end of trading today or tomorrow to see where market, it will continue on a downtrend or a curve up. That is why, as a trader in the market, you need to have all these tools at your disposal, at your phone when you are trading, to guide you on what to do. Like you just said, looking at the money flow index down, it has formed, even you said almost a triple bottom already. I tell you that is a stronger point that you might see an uptrend any moment from now. But this uptrend will depend on the market forces today, tomorrow. That means investors should not think of looking back on this the trend we are seeing in the market, but rather they should take advantage of this opportunity we are seeing, that prices are coming down and earnings are going up, to buy into good stock. This is why you don't need to look only your one chart or look your fundamental alone. You need to combine the two as a trader or investor to make informed decisions. Like today just said, if they release economic news, it's going to reflect on the on the chart, because market to perform, because a study behavioral pattern of people, and you know that this pattern, when they see that, they ought to exhibit the same pattern. For you, that you need to also look at that chart to give you an insight of what you are expected to do. That means you need to go back to your drawing board. If you have not mastered technical analysis, if you don't the tools, you need to
can talk to us. We know what to do.
That was not a big deal. You need to also do, like you just said, can talk to any of us, but regarding that we will provide you the education and also the software. You need it. You can see why people trade forex. People trade forex because they have the tools or no, but the same tools they use for anything that's movable. Either you are doing forex, you are doing stock, you are doing commodity, you are doing Bitcoin. You need a chart to know. But all those ones are too volatile. But for equity, that you know that there is what I call it a backup, because no matter how bad the stock is, in like a Nigerian market, it's well regulated that you can't lose more than 10%, you can't get more than 10%. That means for a day. But in forex that is volatile, you can lose all your placed your order that if you put it well. That is why you need to understand the candlestick and know how it plays. For me, it's about education, what we need in this market. We have shown you how to go forward from now. You don't need to panic. You see market correcting, but any market that you see in a dip, look at opportunity that dip is creating for you and catch on it and make what informed investment decision. And I believe that will go a long way to guide any investor that's listening to us now. If you need any information about the current market, you are free to contact us in the in the profit point program for us to give you information that you need as regard your business. Even a small scale business that are coming up, we'll do all those segments on this program. You are free to come up and ask questions, and we are there to also to guide you. And today, before we'll be drawing the question anywhere from now, what will be your general advice regarding investment now, as we're already entering the month of June, which is the last month for the second quarter, and we have very few days to end the month of May. And also the way the trend is going now, I said before this program in different occasions that in the history of Nigeria, May market or month of May has very dicey. For the last 5 years, May in the market just lost once. Now this is another one that will be, because I see already, you can see that May is giving us almost 3 point something down. Yeah, that means is there any change that we can change between now and Monday?
You know that May is always faced with economic indicators. Okay. Our trading activities in May, you see that we have less earnings to back up trading. Yeah. And so what will dictate the market trend in May and towards the end of the half year is the economic indicators that will come in. So if the economic indicators are positive, then you see a positive performance. If they are not reliable, if they are negative, then you see
they are flat.
They are flat. Then, for example, if investors are not sure of what is likely to happen, you will see them sit on the fence, like we saw last 2 weeks. Some people came out of their positions
to
watch. And like on the day the news, the final decision of the MPC came in, you see the market still lost. And I begin to ask myself what happened. Then something drove my eyes to the gainers and losers list. And I realized that people are not actually in the market.
Yes.
Most people are still sitting on the fence.
To watch.
By the time the news came in, perhaps they say, okay, let's now draw our curtain. I'm believing that we will start seeing the true reaction to all those decisions having been fully analyzed by different analysts. You see that from different newspaper, radio program, TV program, the major discussion now is the GDP, and people are actually trying to dissect it to actually see what are the implications, how is it going to affect our investment. So you will see that people will now go to the drawing board and reshuffle their portfolios. So you will see a perfect reaction from next week. Okay. Yes, from next week you see a perfect reaction. But again, I want to advise that if you have technical analysis software, don't trade, don't check your daily chart performance, especially on NSE. Go to weekly. If you stay on the daily, you won't see the true picture of the market. Go to weekly chart. Weekly chart will let you realize that what the market had lost so far is so small compared to the gains we have seen. And so when you see such thing, you realize that all we have seen in market dropping is a pullback, and such pullback is just an opportunity for those who missed out in the trend to rejoin the market. And so you won't panic out of the market. Panicking out of your investment at the moment is just like you have stayed and you have waited for so long, and now something just scare you and you drop your profit to somebody else. So at this moment, what you should do is to look at those stocks that are dropping. They are actually your target. As long as their fundamentals are okay and they are pulling back, take position in them.
Yeah, before we round up, I want to just quickly discuss this new exchange rate.
Okay.
How was the implication on the market? You know, last time CPN had just adjusted the import and export window, rate to become the official exchange rate for the nation. Then what do you think that will do to the market and also to the general economy?
It will show a positive picture to us, because that's where the whole transaction comes from.
Okay.
And I think when we were coming, we were discussing, I said something very key, and you said the CBN should add to the number of
items.
And so as to drag more attention and encourage our local activities. So to me, I feel is a decision rightly taken, and the effect in the long run is going to be positive.
Yeah, before I would not record it, I believe that also it will help us to create a convergence, from other different rates, and at the same time boost confidence that even it will attract a foreign investor going to the future. I believe it's a right thing in the right direction for CBN, only that they need to also, let them also intervene that this become a bit stable, so that we can plan with our exchange rate, so that foreigners can come in and go with the same rate. That will also make them not to look the way of Nigeria. That is a good one. On this note, we'll draw the curtain today. We'll say thank you, and God bless you. See you next week.